So, folks, things are going great in Donald Trump's good old US of A. I mean, people are going to work, they're getting paychecks, and then they are happily turning into consumers. Just look at this. This is a senator, Roger Marshall from Kansas. Let's see what he has to say about the joy of being a consumer.
Price tags. We want patients to become consumers again. We want patients to see what the actual prices are. We believe that if we would add the price tags to this bill, that it would save the country $1 trillion a year. That's not me saying that. 40 economists say if we give patients price tags, we make them consumers, it'll save $1,000 a month per family. So I think it's the complexity. I think it's the way insurance companies, hospitals hide the true cost of health care.
Yeah. How
Plus price.
Yeah. We definitely want people, instead of prioritizing their care as patients, we want them to be consumers. You know, consume your healthcare. Consume it. Stuff it down your gullet. Consume it, you dumb fuck. Okay, that might have been a little bit aggressive. I apologize. But understand that this man is basically saying, Look, don't prioritize your health, the thing you rely on to live. Instead, prioritize consuming your healthcare. And it's like, man, they're all but saying that they want you to die. And Republican voters will just lap it up. It's crazy, right? It's just nuts. And like, I don't know, we're
broken
not in a
arm,
good
that'll
spot.
be $3,000. Hope you can afford, cause there's literally no other option.
No, Nathan, you don't understand. If you're a patient, you have to pay that $3,000. But if you're a consumer, you can shop that broken arm around to a bunch of different hospitals. Use that time. You might be in blinding pain, but there's nothing stopping you from driving to another hospital 30 miles away and getting a second opinion. What? Like, what? You just want to be an educated consumer after all? It'll save you $1,000 a month on average. The audacity of this bitch from Kansas to tell you that, like, oh yeah, it will save your family $1,000 a month. Save your family $1,000 per month? How? How would that save you money at all? Most people don't have an option. They don't have other hospitals to go to, man. Especially in rural parts of the country.
I get this is a bit, but literally F off, sorry, not sorry, screw this dude.
No, like, it's so frustrating. You can't shop around your healthcare, generally speaking. If you're lucky enough to live in an area with multiple specialists, guess what? The price isn't going to change that much between those specialists. And like, if you have an urgent medical issue, you don't have the time to shop around. Yeah, like, Laughsome closest hospital is an hour away. Exactly. And like, the Republican bill that this bitch voted on closes down more rural hospitals, giving people even less places to go, even if they were inclined to shop around that broken arm. As a caregiver, they instruct us to refer to our clients as consumers, and the phraseology has never sat well with me. I understandably so, I imagine. What they don't tell you is that other hospital is also $3,000. Yeah, like, you're not going to be able to shop around, and even if you were, the price is going to be relatively the same in your area. They all but say they want you to die, right? Because a guy like this, number one, senator, he has government health care that covers everything. He doesn't have to worry about its cost. And number two, he's wealthy as hell. So he never has to worry about the cost of healthcare ever again in his life for anyone in his family. Meanwhile, in the real world, people are ration their insulin because they can't afford it. I know trans people who are rationing their HRT because they're worried about not being able to afford it if like government changes to the Affordable Care Act happen. Like I literally know people who are rationing medication because of the costs, because of the ability to get it if healthcare gets fucked with. And it's so frustrating. I would love to know why. Well, so Asher Bunnyman, I guarantee you that the shift in adopting the language of consumer is to get people to stop thinking about them as patients who deserve care. If you are a consumer, you are not entitled to consume the same way a patient is entitled to care, you know? Shifting that language creates a permission structure to deny consumers care. You know, like that shifts the permission structure. Yeah, it's to move even farther away from the idea that healthcare is a fundamental human right. 23% of Americans rationed medications in the last year. 27% skipped the medical appointment. Yeah. One of my friends died from insulin rationing. It's an awful thing that for-profit medical care does to us. Exactly, and it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't. It's done to enrich their stupid, wealthy Republican friends.
To my friend, he used the classic example of Canada does it, and they have massive wait time. It can be frustrating.
Yeah, on the other hand, you have people dying from medical debt in the United States. And on the other hand, people can't afford to get the care they need to live, so they just die. I don't think most people are worried all that much about having to wait if they're guaranteed the care. Also, have you ever tried to book an appointment at a busy doctor's office under our current system? Guess what? You still have to wait months, bitch. It's crazy. The wait times are, shall we say, exaggerated? Yeah. Life expectancy in Canada is more than 5 years longer than the US? Yeah, they got better care. It's very frustrating to see. But this isn't a segment on, the American healthcare system. This is a segment on the economy. And clearly the American healthcare system would never have any bearing on the economy and vice versa. Like that. Oh, wait, they are related. I'm getting more information that they are very related. And oh no. Somehow, credit default swaps have returned. Now, for those of you who might be a bit sketchy on what a credit default swap is, well, Reuters put out an explainer earlier today. What are credit default swaps, and why are investors watching oracles? Now, for those who don't remember the year 2008, because it was a while ago, this was the year something happened called the 2008 financial crisis, precipitated by a bunch of financial institutions and investors trading on derivatives in the mortgage market. And CDSs, basically a vehicle for doing that. And it's basically a way to buy and sell and speculate on a corporation's package of debt. And it's become a huge thing to look at Oracle's CDS stats, largely because Oracle is one of the biggest holders of debt in AI. So,
derivatives are the opposite of things integral to our economy's success.
It's true. You can't live in a derivative. Now, it is really, really telling.
How are we recreating every economic crash we've ever had at the same while inventing new ones we're all so thoroughly effed up the A?
Because capitalism periodically collapses. Those gigantic economic downturns, those depressions, those recessions, those are part of capitalism. Capitalism, by design, does that. It's part of the method by which it consolidates wealth. You ever wondered how did the top, 0.1% become the top 0.1%? It's because when the market crashes, they're the ones who have the money to buy up all the assets for extra cheap. And then when the market rebounds, they have exponentially more assets. Okay. Yeah, Richard Wolff has a lot of really great lectures on this exact phenomena, but in a nutshell, I just explained it, right? And well, yeah, just going through this, I'll link this particular Reuters piece. What triggers a CDS payout? A credit event, which can include a bankruptcy of the debt issuer or a failure to make a payment on bonds. Like any financial asset, CDS are actively traded. It's the perception of risk. If the perception of risk increases around the debt issuer, demand for its CDS rises, widening the spread. Because essentially, you're trading on whether or not a debt is going to be paid or not. So a bunch of people are entered into speculating on whether or not there's going to be a CDS payout, and that's really bad. It's really bad because that is an indicator that the market itself is saying, oh yeah, this is going to collapse. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when, right? And also, not great. You might have noticed this on screen. The end of this Reuters article is a reminder of 2008 crisis. CDS were one of the financial instruments at the center of the 2008 financial crisis. Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers were among the many banks that issued CDS to investors on mortgage-backed securities, MBS, mortgages bundled into one package, among other types of derivatives. When US rates rose sharply throughout 2007, triggering a wave of mortgage defaults, billions of dollars in MBS and other bundled securities were rendered worthless. This sparked hefty CDS payouts for banks such as Lehman and Bear Stearns. So, when you see an increase in shorting like this, it's a bad sign. I mean, let me put it this way. It's a sign that the AI bubble is getting closer to popping. And when this particular bubble pops, it's going to be a lot bigger than the 2008 financial crisis. And I'm a humble country streamer, right? Like, none of these are all, like, these could all be related stories. I got one more for you. Hey folks, is it good when working class people in rural America are struggling so much that they can't heat their homes, and so they're having to band together in order to get heat so they don't die in the wintertime? Is that a good sign of a thriving and healthy economy? Donald Trump is just so good at the economy, right? It must be good that people can't afford to heat their homes. Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh, wait a minute, it's not. It's not good. Oh, that is in fact extraordinarily bad. Well, firewood banks aren't inspiring. They're a sign of collapse. So, for those of you who don't know and have never been in rural America, there has been a rise recently of so-called firewood banks, which are essentially these community structures where people go, they chop wood, they throw it in the wood bank, they take what they need, and then, like, the community just all pitches together to chop the wood that they then burn to heat their homes. And while this is in fact a good community building activity, this is a good thing that communities are able to band together to provide for this collective need. It is speaking to a profound inability to provide for the family, right? When the economy is going well, you don't need a community firewood bank because people can just afford to buy the firewood or afford to pay their gas bills. And the fact that this is now necessary indicates that people cannot pay their basic costs for, their ability to continue living. And that is really bad. So, just digging into this a little bit. Most articles about wood banks wrap them in the same tired language. Community spirit, rural generosity, neighbors helping neighbors. And I'm just going to pause and say that's true, right? Those things are true about what's happening, but the framing of the story needs to be that there is a colossal failure happening economically. Like the thrust of this story needs to be like there is a profound economic damage that is occurring here. A lot of outlets will frame it as a feel-good story, kind of like child raises money needed to treat mother's brain cancer from a lemonade stand. It gets framed as like a heartwarming story about gumption and like an angel investor or something, but the underlying story, if you actually properly framed it, would be an incredible indictment against society, right? That we have allowed for this type of thing to even happen in the first place. Wood banks don't exist. Wood banks exist because without them, people would freeze. It's the same everywhere. Local news crews film volunteers splitting logs while pretending it's heartwarming, reporting on senior citizens splitting 150 cords a year for neighbors in need as if the story is about kindness instead of the failure that created the need in the first place. Wood banks now operate in hundreds of towns across the country, some run by churches, some by fire departments, some by volunteers who buy or haul low-grade timber when families have no other heat source. Demand has grown fast enough that the agriculture department has issued multiple rounds of grants to help communities process more wood because so many households can't afford the heat that they used to rely on. Just hey, is this good? USDA Forest Service makes investment in firewood banks. Earlier in August, USDA Forest Service awarded $1.4 million to the Alliance for Green Heat to expand firewood banks in the United States. It's not a good sign. The one that drives me up the wall every year is the Walmart food drive for Walmart employees. That fucking sucks. I hate Walmart so goddamn much. It's really difficult for me to even talk about that company. The federally funded low-income home energy assistance program offers grants to
I
help
am
people
literally
pay their
trying
bills.
to buy a home right now. I am not sure if I should be happy or sad about the coming crash.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is, I guess. Routinely runs out of money in some locations partway through the season, and this year funds have been delayed due to the government shutdown. Yeah, you don't start a wood bank in a country with functioning institutions. Exactly. Exactly. Like, this entire thing is just a complete and utter failure. People shouldn't, like, your senior citizens shouldn't have to be going out there and volunteering to cut wood because if they don't, families will freeze to death. That is a failure of our government. And they always say, oh, well, the government, the military is there to fight for your rights as an American. And I'm sorry, is the military out there fighting for your rights as an American to freeze to death inside your home? Because, like, you just don't have the funds to keep the heat on? This is the world conservatives want, by the way. The world conservatives want is the one where, like, poor people simply freeze to death in their homes. And I would argue the freedom to freeze to death in your home is no freedom at all. Like, the freedom to just die of poverty, that's not freedom. It's why I reject the idea of, like, negative freedom and embrace the idea of positive freedoms. In a world of positive freedoms, you are empowered to do things rather than simply restricted from doing things. Hold on, are you suggesting the government has a duty to defend its own people? That's absurd. Indeed, indeed. Is it more expensive in rural areas? Seems nice to have the option of firewood from City Slicker's point of view. Is firewood more expensive? Well, I mean, heat is definitely very expensive. You know, if you can't keep the lights on, if you can't keep the heat on, you're dead in the middle of nowhere. You know, a lot of houses in the middle of nowhere don't have the infrastructure for heat outside of, like, natural gas being delivered to their house, right? And
The
if
government
you don't
has a
have the money
duty
for
to
that,
not crap on its
you
citizens.
freeze. True, Sake Tanuki. A duty. All I'm saying here is we have 3 new data points, right? On the one hand, you have economic straits so dire in rural America that the heat isn't able to be kept on. And community services are springing up of motivated volunteers trying to make sure that their neighbors don't freeze to death, you know? On the other hand, you have on Wall Street speculative trading on when the AI bubble is going to burst, experiencing a huge uptick. And then you have, Congress sitting there being like, well, what if you just paid through the nose for better healthcare? Wouldn't that make it better? What if we just made healthcare more expensive and didn't actually improve anything about it? Wouldn't that be great? Don't you love being a consumer? And I'm just saying these 3 data points paint a picture that is extraordinarily
the freedom for
bad.
me to swing my fist ends at your face. Side note, but I've also noticed a few more wood banks around Michigan. Didn't know they were called that though. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Yeah, all of this speaks to a profound and fundamental problem echoing through the economics of our country here in the United States. And though that dissonance is going to increase, the problems are going to continue, and I'm sad to say I fear like a pretty big financial whoopsie daisy, I believe is the correct term for it, in the near future. So that's where we're at, everybody. It's not looking good.
Once water gets more scarce, we'll start to see riverbanks all over the place.
I already see riverbanks all over the place because I'm on a riverboat. Haha. Sake Tanuki, thank for the 2 tier 1 subs. And I'm really scared of the bubble popping too, Comrade Girl. And it's kind of like we've seen all the water go out into the ocean. We're kind of standing around on the beach and being like, look at all those dead fish and starfish, huh? Well, this is simply a natural phenomena, nothing to worry about. Tide goes in, tide comes out, goes out, like the water went away, it'll come back, and we never really think about how hard it's going to come back, So, I genuinely don't really know how to advise you guys. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice, but I will say, maybe buy like a really big bag of rice and some beans, so some like dried beans, okay, and some spices. That can get you through almost anything. With that being said, if you got anything out of this, please like the show, like the stream, like the segment, and consider dropping a comment. The comments really, really, really help, especially the segments that get posted on YouTube. Comments there help a lot. And also consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. You guys know what to do. Support the stream because you guys make this show possible. Finally, make sure you start going to your local Dem meetings. Radicalize your local Democrats. Join your local DSA and make them more effective. We have the tools to help make that happen. Please join our Discord. Reach out to GamerG for help with your local DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And let's all make it happen. And finally, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. We've also tried it out with cis men, cis women, non-binary folk, everybody in between. It's all gravy. It's all good. I don't know why I said gravy. That's a weird phrase. But check it out. Link is down in the doobly-doo. And let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.